What's up, everybody? It's your boy Brandon Blakney, aka Brandon Lee TV, with a special edition of the Dukes of the Gridiron Podcast, brought to you by Bleed. Got my guy Jourdan Campbell, up and coming comedian, on the show. Man, when I saw that Katt Williams interview on Club Shay Shay, I said I got to bring my guy on for this one. I had to, bro. But how you doing, man? What's going on with you?
I'm good, man. Just been trying to get these shows out the way, just writing, trying to progress. That's about it.
Man, I see you've been super active. 8 days into the new year, man. You out here getting it, bro.
Yeah, I got to, man. I'm trying to get on the next episode of Club Shay Shay, so
Hey, big respect, big respect. We speaking into existence, man. Let us know, man, before we hop into it. What should we be on the lookout for?
I got a show. I have a show today, and then I got a show in a couple days. I'm producing a show
Okay.
in Bound New Jersey. It's at this place called Alley 14, and it's a showcase, and the name of the showcase is Punches in the Alley.
Okay.
So that's going to be at 8 o'clock. We got some featured comedians, some great comedians from New Jersey, and then we're going to open it up for an open mic. So yeah, if anybody's in the area, be sure to check it out.
Definitely go check it out, man. Up and coming comedians, amateurs, if y'all trying to get a start, that next generation coming up, man. So like I mentioned earlier, man, the interview that shocked the world, that broke the internet, the biggest video on the internet right now, man. Just looking at it, it was a lot to take away. It was a
Yeah,
lot, man.
it was long, like more than anything. Like I couldn't watch it all in one sitting. I was shocked when people were like, "Yo, I checked out all 2 hours and 46 minutes of it in one sitting." I'm like, I had stuff to do. Like I couldn't, yeah, because it came out like didn't it come out at night if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, man, and it's about as long as an Avengers movie. So you
Yeah,
definitely
yeah,
you had to lock in. Like, yeah, it took me 3 seconds too, man. 3 different days to watch it. But to be honest with you, man, Twitter is the reason I watched it. It was
yeah,
just,
yeah, exactly.
you couldn't scroll without seeing it and just seeing different clips. And I know it's a lot of different thoughts. Just initially, man, I felt like there was a lot of truth, but also, there's gonna be some exaggerations in there as well. That people are coming out and kind of responding. But I wanted to ask you kind of your take. I know I was kind of pulled back. I'm looking at Steve Harvey. I'm looking at Seth. I'm kind of looking at these guys a little different right now about what's going on. But your initial reaction from a comedic standpoint, because it was comedy.
Yeah.
What was your takeaways from it?
I think it's funny that you called it like an Avengers movie because Katt Williams for sure dropped the Infinity Gauntlet on the comedy game. But yeah, just like initial reactions, I feel like a lot of people don't give Katt Williams credit for how intelligent he is as a human being,
Mhm.
and I feel like that was on display. For sure, exaggerated a few things. He had people doing math when he said, "Oh, I read 3,000 books in a year."
Yeah,
People are like, "Okay, so that's like 8 books a day of nonfiction, no less, like eight
yeah,
nonfiction books a day." I'm
thick
like,
books.
"Yeah." But I'm not gonna lie, I took full advantage of that. I had a show on Saturday, and I
Mhm.
immediately told a joke about it. I was like, when I heard that he read 3,000 books in a year, I'm like, that's light work. Like 3,000 books in a year is nothing. You remember when we were younger and you had those reading assignments for over the
Oh
summer?
yeah, the AR points. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And if you read the most books or something, like you got free tickets to, I guess it might be in Carowinds where you were at, but up here was Six Flags and a pizza party.
Hmm.
If you check my sheet, I read 4,000 books that summer. Like no question.
Sheesh.
Yeah, yeah. You gotta
You know
pick
what
an
I'm saying?
You gotta pick an astronomical number because if you don't, I mean,
It just
some
sound bad.
yeah, it sounds terrible. And then you're making names up of books. Like I was picking black movies that weren't based on books. Like I was like, yeah, I read Boys in the Hood. Like I read that book before we came back to school.
Real street classic, man. Real street classic. I love the fact that you've been able to take that now and use that in a show, man. Just kind of flip that around.
Yeah, I mean, things hit the internet quickly. So that happened. What was it, Wednesday or Thursday? Yeah,
Yeah.
I had 48 hours to turn it around. So yeah, I'll probably post that clip today or tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, You got to coast on that coverage that they're getting right now. I can't sleep on that. I
Nah.
mean, we're talking about it right now, so
And the crazy thing, I wasn't even gonna talk about it, bro. But it was too big. It would be unbeknownst, like I had to. I wouldn't be doing my due diligence
Oh, for
to
sure.
not bringing it up. You know what I'm saying? So two things. One thing that really stood out to me was one, I love the love that he showed for the younger comedians of that next generation. And he
Yeah.
acknowledged that, y'all are fighting battles with this social media and this instant gratification that the older comedians maybe in the 80s and 90s didn't have to really go through.
Yeah, no, for them it was definitely a more it was a longer grind to get to like as an established comedian. Basically what you would do is you go to the open mics where you're at or you move to like Los Angeles or New York, just try to grind it out there. Hopefully an agent sees you and then you just go on the road. You might open for a bigger comedian
Mhm.
and then from there like just, try to headline and then hopefully get a special, get on TV, late night television. That was a big thing back in the day for comedians, just getting like a 5 minute set on like what was it, Jay Leno or
Yeah.
yeah. But now, I mean, with the power of the internet and social media, like you're seeing a lot of comedians, move up a lot quicker. They're
Yeah.
definitely streamlining their career to the point where they're selling out places. Like I saw an internet comedian that I maybe heard of last year, and he sold out a venue. I was like at least 150 people, and this was like
Okay.
6 months ago. Yeah, so I mean, something to shoot for. But I like that. I also like that Cat. He said that sometimes when he goes to shows and he sees like a young comedian, like he knows we're not getting paid that well. Like we're for
Hmm.
sure grinding, and he'll like throw you a bag. Like he'll be
Yeah.
like, "I see you out here grinding. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to let you know that like I noticed what you're doing, and I wanted to let you know that I appreciate it." And he did that monetarily, and I'm like, that's amazing because as a comedian, sometimes we're performing for drink tickets.
Yeah.
Um, or it's like, hey man, thanks for doing that, and then you get a fist bump, and it's like, all right, well, I'll see you later. I
Still
know I
need the
just,
gas in the car. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
I drove 2 hours to get here, but thank you so much for this free opportunity.
Most definitely. How big is that when you heard that? Like, I know you kind of talked about him looking out for the other comedians. I'm not saying other guys don't do that, but I feel like Katt Williams is definitely one of those ones that's doing stuff behind the scenes and we're not really talking about it, but the comedic world knows.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think there's a good amount of seasoned comedians that are definitely helping like the younger generation. Like for example, I have a big homie. His name's Sidney Castillo. He's been on Wild now. He did a special with Marlon Wayans on HBO, and
Okay.
like he basically is like mentoring me in a way. He's like making sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So definitely appreciative of that. But I know a lot of comedians in my position maybe don't have that, so it's a
Mhm.
lot harder to navigate. So when people like Katt Williams are coming out and saying like, yeah, like I'm trying to look out for the new comedians, like that's like a breath of fresh air for us. So I'm definitely appreciative of what he was doing.
Most definitely, man. I love that he was kicking wisdom. Like you said, I would have never known about the educational part, him getting into the special school and having that IQ. Like, yeah, we learned a lot, man. Just as far as like some of the comedians that you look up to. I mean, I know it's always the GOATs with Chappelle and those guys, Martin Lawrence, Eddie Murphy, like the OGs. But when you looking at where Katt Williams fits in with all that, where do you put him all time with some of these guys? In the Kevin Hart's of the world.
This is tough. Uh, so I remember, I think it was Pimp Chronicles. That was
Elite.
probably the first special I saw from Katt Williams, and that was amazing. That was probably like other than Eddie Murphy and Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock, like that was one of the first specials I was like, yo, this is amazing. Like I he had me laughing a majority of the special. I would say if I had to do like a Mount Rushmore,
Mhm.
he's on it.
Okay.
He's probably on it. I would say he's like number four for me, and then I think it's Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle, um, and who's the last one? I would say maybe. It's
You
tough.
putting Pryor on there?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Richard Pryor, yeah, for sure. Oh, all right. We're gonna. Yeah, it's impossible to have these conversations and not leave people out. Like you can't
Facts.
because
Facts.
you can only pick four because that's how Mount Rushmore works. But like, yeah, I
And
Yeah,
it's
I'm
like
not.
kind of with rap too, man, like where it could be two different ones. Like obviously we got the Jay-Z, the Nas, the Big L, those guys, but then
Yeah,
you got like Wayne and Drake kind of on their own.
right, right. Yeah, it's almost impossible to pick like a top four of anything because it's objective. Like it's basically based on your opinion. Like there's facts and metrics that can go into it, but
Mhm.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's just how you feel. So yeah, I know if I actually had to sit down, it would probably take a week or two for me to come out with the actual like Mount Rushmore. But just off top, yeah, those are the four I would pick.
And you see these guys, man, with like getting these specials. There's a lot of specials happening. All of them don't last. All of them don't get picked up. How
Yeah,
difficult is that, man, to put something like that together just looking in? Because he mentioned like Steve Harvey had the Def Comedy Jam, but he really hasn't had any like solo. You know what I'm saying? Said being said, like a lot of these guys that are more, I guess, known for their acting don't
yeah.
have those comedy specials that's got to his name.
Yeah, I mean, it's for sure a lot of trial and error, just trying to put out an hour of material. So you're basically what you're doing. I don't know when it starts for each person, but at the top of the year or beginning of the year, you're like writing. You're writing a lot, and then you're going to these clubs and you're performing it, trying to fine tune it, and then I think it's the onus is pretty much on you when you're like, all right, I have this hour, like I'm ready to
Mhm.
go record it. And most times, depending on how big you are, they've already reached out to you like, hey, like we want you to film an hour this year. So yeah, you're just fine tuning it until you get to that recording date, and then yeah, just from there, you're hoping for the best.
Something major that he really caught a lot of flack for, I think, when he was calling out guys, Faison Love, all these other guys who I love Faison in the movies, Couple Retreat. Like he's hilarious to me. Haven't never really seen him do stand up before, to be honest with you. Recently went and saw D. Ray Davis. He was up here in Rochester. He was sensational.
Yeah,
Hood legend, packed it out, had my stomach hurting the next day.
yeah, yeah. He's
Um,
funny,
he is, man. He's really funny and he's relatable.
right?
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? He's relatable. I feel like I could go up and shake his hand and he wouldn't be too Hollywood. But I'm looking at it like it's comedy because in any other genre of music, you can have co-writers, you can have, you people write you songs, people collab, but it seems like in rap, if you're not writing your own lyrics, all the respect is gone out the window. How do you feel about people borrowing, stealing jokes that they didn't write, or just not being writers in general?
I think in comedy, at least from what I've seen, you will get your chin checked if you take somebody's joke and they hear that you take somebody's, like if your joke gets taken and you're in the same space and you hear that joke, it's a conversation. Hopefully, it's only a conversation, but yeah, they take it pretty seriously. I've I've seen a couple people like have their jokes taken by somebody, and it's been a situation where we're like, I mean, I hope it doesn't escalate, but you for sure have to talk to them about it. That's law. Like if someone takes your joke, you have to be like, hey, um, you obviously know this because you've heard me say it. That's my joke.
Yeah.
You could tweak it a word or two, but that's my joke. And then it also gets complicated because there's premises. Like everyone has premises. So sometimes it may not even be that the joke was stolen. They just have the same premise.
Yeah.
But if you get to the punchline and it's similar, it's like yeah, you might have borrowed that from somebody.
He biting.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So in that situation, if it was somebody that was like somebody you looked up to, Jordan, that you watched growing up or that you watch now, that sampled something of yours and that took so like, how would you feel being put in that situation?
I'm gonna need a check or a bag for sure. If you're gonna borrow my material, like yeah, I need a writer's credit or something. Like you gotta hook me up.
Yeah, man. And I think nowadays on social media, like if you're doing somebody else's set or stealing a joke, word gonna get out.
Oh, for sure. The crazy thing is that joke that I was telling you that I told,
Yeah.
somebody has a status right now that's going viral on Facebook that is eerily similar to it, and they already put it out. So right now I'm debating if I even want to put it out. Somebody will be like, "Oh, you took that from that status." I'm like, Yeah, sure. I guess I did.
Need,
But
need that time stamp on there.
yeah. That status was posted yesterday at like 8:30. I recorded my set on Saturday night at 8:55 p.m. So we got it before they did.
Hey man, that's on the record right there. That,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
that's
yeah.
on the record.
Yeah, if anybody watches that clip, just reference this interview so that you know that I put it out first. But if need be, like I'll message them on Facebook, just be like, hey, just so you know, I came up with this first. But
Most definitely, claim that stain,
yeah,
claim that, stake
absolutely,
that claim.
yeah,
I'm saying, man, I love like how everything came together because it just seems like it brought the whole community together. We all talking about this one interview. When you looking at how Katt went about it, people are obviously gonna respond. Some comedians have responded.
yeah.
Is a response bad? It seems like nobody's really came out and called him a straight up liar. But does it make if Steve Harvey comes back and says something, or if he already has, or Ricky Smiley has already spoken out, and I know Ricky just from being on the radio guy.
Yeah.
But like with these guys speaking out, some of them seeming kind of bitter. What kind of perception do you think that paints?
I think if you're very quick to come out with like there might be a little admission of guilt. Like if you're immediately jumping on it as soon as you hear about it and you're like, oh no, I gotta clear it up right now. Because in most cases, like this isn't really gonna affect them. Like
Mm-hmm.
I mean, public perception for sure, but like their checks aren't gonna stop just based on this interview. Like Steve Harvey hosts everything, literally everything. I don't see any network being like, hey, we saw the Club Shay Shay interview. I don't know if we can do this anymore. I don't know if this partnership is going to be a fruitful one for both of us. So, yeah.
Is with Steve? Do you think? I think he's funny, but I feel like with the Steve Harvey show, kind of ripped off the Mr. Cooper joint. Like I get it, you know.
Yeah, that was a great show, by the way. Hanging with Mr. Cooper, like
Yeah, and my
that.
man did. His name escapes me, but the comedian from the show is amazing.
Mark Curry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mark Curry, man,
yeah,
another legend that kind of didn't get his flowers until maybe right now.
yeah. I loved that show growing up, and then I think he like I don't want to say tried to commit suicide, but he had like a health issue or something. So I
Mental
think he was,
health.
yeah, mental health issue. So I think he was away for a little bit. But yeah, like I wish I knew about his stand up when I was growing up. I just knew the show. Like I didn't even know
Mhm.
he was a comedian before that. But yeah, I'm glad that Katt Williams gave him his flowers because, like you said, like now people are realizing like how funny he is. I'm sure his clips are going crazy on social media right now. So yeah, that's definitely a blessing for him.
Now we see Steve Harvey, Love Don't Cost a Thing, a million movies, a million shows. Think Like a Man. We seen said The Honeymooners Barbershop. I think they're funny, but are they stand up funny though? Because I think there's a difference.
I think Cedric the Entertainer was funny in the King's Comedy. Having said that, then seeing you seen the clip where it's like the joke where he's talking about
Yeah. What did
bombing
you?
initial bombing initial. I was like, that's
Yeah.
too specific for you to like. That's not a thought that everyone else has.
He
Like
stole that.
I don't want to say it, but it it's going to be hard to convince people that you didn't possibly borrow that from somebody else because I'm not thinking of that. Like that's not a thought. That's not an original thought that I would have for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, but yeah, like I said, original King's Comedy, like that. I think that was a great stand-up set. If I had to rank the sets from Kings of Comedy, it was Bernie
Yeah.
Mac first for sure, and then D.L. Hughley.
DL is another one, man. That's like a legend, but you
Yeah,
don't hear too much about.
he just tours. Like I think that's what he like. He's not really doing specials for television like that or streaming services. Like he's grinding. He's doing the comedy grind. And then obviously Steve Harvey was fourth. But yeah, like I think Cedric the Entertainer, I think he'll be fine. Like
Mhm.
he's gonna still be able to make money from touring and doing comedy. I almost saw him. He came to New Jersey, but
Okay.
I think it was like around when COVID started. So I was like, I'm not going.
Yeah, that's a dope.
Yeah.
I didn't realize Katt toured so much.
Yeah. So his opener, I actually met her. Her name is Miss Pretty Ricky.
Okay.
She's from New Jersey.
I think he
But yeah,
mentioned her. Yeah.
yeah. So they tour like every year apparently, and like a bunch, like 100 something cities or something like that, or like 100 shows. I don't know if it's 100 cities, but yeah, like he
100
grinds.
shows. God dang.
Yeah, that's almost no days off. That's like
Yeah.
the days you have off are you traveling to the next city. So, but he's got what, 7, 8 kids.
Yeah, he got some mouths to feed. He
Yeah, he
said
got work. Yeah, he's
it.
got work. Yeah.
How does this, as a community, I think it brought a lot of attention, obviously, to comedy, to art in general. How does this impact the culture?
I think a lot of people, hopefully now, will be on their P's and Q's when it comes to writing original material, because it's very easy to clip what you say. And then if you see somebody else that also has a clip out here, now it's a debate like who said it first. So
Mm-hmm.
I think with this, hopefully, it'll just inspire more people to have original material. I think long term, I hope these bookers, these agents, these comedy clubs just start paying us more money, because it's a grind for sure, and we're not necessarily reaping the monetary benefits of it in the early stages.
Definitely, man. Tell them that them free drinks don't pay the rent, man.
I don't even want them. Like, just keep it. You can keep the drink ticket. Just give me the money that you would have given me that I would have had to pay for these drinks. I'll take that so I can put that in my car.
How many shows did you have to do before you got paid like anything?
Uh, if I started 2019, I would say it took like 30 shows before I got paid.
Ooh, that's commitment.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, we get paid now, so
Yeah.
it's cool.
Hey, tell them, man, if you ain't ready to do 30, 40, 50 for free, it might not be for you.
Nah, and that's the thing. I feel like with comedy, so many people, they have conversations with their friends and family, and they're like, "Oh, you're funny. Like, you should go do this."
Mhm.
I'm not saying you shouldn't, but this is very different from making like your friends laugh. You have to go get unbiased laughter
Yeah.
in front of people that you've never met before. There's structure. Like, there's a lot of things that go into telling jokes. So when people are like, "Yeah, bro, I'm thinking about trying comedy," I never discourage them. But
Mhm.
after the first time, I'm like, "So how'd it go? How are you feeling? How are you feeling right now?" Because I guarantee you, you're gonna bomb. I'm not saying you're gonna bomb the first time, but it's bound to happen. And you bombing is not a great feeling. The way a lot of comedians approach it is like, if you haven't been doing comedy and thought about quitting comedy, then you shouldn't be doing comedy. Because like, I've bombed a couple times, I'm like, yeah, I mean,
They booed you?
no, like it's just quiet, or like
Mm.
you get like the very quiet laughs, like huh. And
Yeah.
it's like, all right, well, maybe this 9 to 5 thing isn't too bad.
I think too what he was saying, kind of like you gotta kind of shape it for different crowds sometimes.
Yeah. It really depends on who you're performing with. Sometimes you have evergreen material that works with everyone, and then you have rooms where you may need to punch that punchline a little bit harder, or like story tell a little bit.
Yeah.
It just depends. It just depends on the room that you're in.
Respect, respect. Well, I know you got another show to do. You was telling us coming up, so we're not gonna hold you. Let us know where to find you at on social media and what's coming up. I know you told us in the beginning, but let us know what's going on.
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram. It's at JourdanMcKinley, JourdanMcKinley. I'm on Facebook. It's Jourdan, JourdanM Campbell, like the soup. I'm on TikTok. It's Jourdan McKinley Comedy. I'm on YouTube. I think it's under Jourdan McKinley as well. Yeah, so I post clips somewhat regularly. I'd say at least a couple a week. And then just trying to do shows. I got a show tonight. I got 2 shows tonight. And then I got one on Friday and then one the week after. So just
booked and busy.
Trying to be, man. I'm trying to get like these comedians that get the Netflix specials and get to be interviewed by Club Shay Shay and apparently just air everyone else out. I'm not gonna do that, but if I get on, I'm really appreciative of all of the comedians that came before me. Thank you so much for paving the way.
Respect.
For me. Yeah.
Respect. Yeah, he did air it out. I ain't gonna lie. Golly.
The thing that got me was when you know how I would attribute it to when you go see somebody that you haven't seen in a long time, but you maybe don't necessarily want to speak to them, and you just say, "How are you?" And they're like, "Hey, man, how's it going?" It's like, "Man, I got a lot to tell you," and then it's like, "Oh, all right, well, I guess we're gonna be here a while."
Yeah, you gotta. All right, well.
Yeah, let me clear my schedule because it sounds like you have a whole bunch to get off your chest.
Hey, man, he gave Stan Lee a run. Avengers, Katt Williams, Endgame, Apocalypse, all that.
Apocalypse. What's the other one? The one with the blue people.
The Infinity War.
No, Avatar.
Oh,
Avatar.
yeah. Avatar. Yeah, I'm talking about 3-4 different dimensions. My boy was just in and out of there, man.
I salute all the people that watched it in one sitting the first night because I couldn't do it.
Like, I'm trying to tell you.
That's a lot to commit to, even if it was a movie.
Yeah.
Forget an interview. Like my attention span is good, but not 2 hour and 46 minute in one sitting good.
And I mean, no disrespect, but it's like no movie scenes, no action scenes. Like it's 2 dudes talking.
Yeah. A lot of people were saying that he should have just saved that for a special.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I kind of get it, but it's not really structured. Like he was just talking.
Right.
He had funny moments for sure, like a bunch of funny moments. But yeah, that's not a stand-up special. Also, I don't want to watch a 2 hour and 46 minute stand-up special, just to be clear.
Like you said too, it wasn't really structured. He was everywhere.
Yeah, he was everywhere. He was running 4 1s and getting 3,000 books a year. I mean, did you see the clip? Did you see the clip of him running? He did like
in the gym?
Yeah, it was fast, but it was 30 yards. So I mean, if you add the 10, that's like a 5, which is still pretty fast for a 50-year-old. But
especially one that's smoking cigarettes and hella weed.
Oh yeah. Even in the interview, he was like, "Yeah, I just played 11 games, a one-on-one with a 27-year-old," and I'm like, "Bro, I'm 32. I can't play 11 games in one sitting."
Bro, I'm at the age where I'm like, man, I can't twist no ankle and be limping into work. It take a little too long to recover.
I remember, I probably said this before, but I remember when you was on the intramural team. It was you, I think, a couple of the homies. I remember I went to one of those games. Y'all played the girls team. That was,
man. I just can never forget when my boy Bohannon trying to dunk on that poor young girl, bro.
Yeah. That was an ego check for everybody in the gym. I was like, bro, you're doing a lot for this intramural game. Like, we get it. This might be your last time to shine before you got to get into the real world. But like, let's tone it down a little bit.
Hey, if Me Too was around back then, he might have got, bro.
He definitely would have got if there was a camera in there. He's lucky nobody was recording.
Oh man, hey man. Oh gosh, the simple days, I swear.
Yeah, no comment. But yeah,
we keep it in PG. We keep that for off the camera. We keep that for off the camera.
Oh yeah, no. Pembroke. That was.
Hey, you got to make your own fun.
For such a small school, a time was had.
Yeah,
time was for sure had in those 4 years I was there. I don't regret anything about that. That was
Hey, some of the biggest hustlers I done ever met, man. I've had a few alumni, including yourself, on the show, man. So it's been great to see everybody continue to grow, man. It really has.
Oh yeah, for sure, bro. You getting the subs up on YouTube? I see you, man. I'm proud of you.
Hey, we monetize. We appreciate it. It's been a grind. Big dog. We definitely appreciate it. But that's a wrap for us on Dukes of the Gridiron Podcast, episode 13, featuring my guy, Jourdan Campbell. Make sure y'all go follow him. Hop on the bandwagon before it fill up now, man. Y'all hop on, get in early. Until next time, hey, we out.